Hi there, I'm Michelle Williams, and welcome to This Explainer. If you're a homeowner over 50, maybe living in Chicago or the south suburbs, and you've been thinking about making a move for a while now but just keep finding reasons to hesitate, well, I want you to know you're in exactly the right place. I am so genuinely glad you're here with me today so we can just sit down and talk through this together. So, what's really keeping you stuck? I want to pause right here and just validate exactly how you might be feeling right now. It is incredibly common to feel, honestly, a bit paralyzed when you're living in a home that simply doesn't fit your life anymore. If you've been putting off a decision because the mere thought of packing up and moving feels entirely overwhelming, you are in very, very good company. You see, it turns out there are about 9 really common, very real fears that keep people from taking that next step. But I also want to reassure you right out of the gate that every single one of these 9 fears is entirely workable. We're going to walk through them together today, step by step, and absolutely without any pressure. Okay? Let's dive right in. Let's start with Section 1, navigating the emotional ties. When we confront those emotional hurdles, moving isn't just about packing boxes and loading furniture. It's completely honest and just profoundly human to fear losing maybe 40 years of your life, the rich family history, and the deep, deep memories attached to your home. But I want to share a gentle reframe with you. The memories do not live in the walls. They just don't. The memories live within you, they live within your family, and in the cherished items you choose to bring with you. Actually, many people find that after they move, their memories feel even more present because they're finally freed from that heavy weight of daily home maintenance and worry. And that brings us to another emotional layer, which is managing family dynamics. Adult children often have very strong feelings about their childhood house, and siblings, well, they don't always agree on what should happen. This is incredibly common. It's just a lot to untangle. But remember, at the end of the day, it is your home and it is your decision. Plus, you don't have to manage all those complex feelings alone. A really good real estate agent can serve as a compassionate guide to help navigate these conversations, making sure they don't derail your peace of mind. There is a vast difference between not being ready and not being willing to think about it. Feeling not ready is completely valid, it really is. But I want to gently encourage you here. Exploring your options costs absolutely nothing. Understanding what's possible simply means that when the time actually is right, you won't be starting from zero. You're just gathering information at your own comfortable pace. Moving right along to Section 2, taming the logistical chaos. Shifting to the physical process of moving can feel like staring up at a completely insurmountable mountain. But the trick is breaking down decades of belongings into manageable, bite-sized stages. Please, don't let yourself feel paralyzed by the thought of what on earth do I do with everything? You don't tackle a house full of memories in a single weekend. From setting up family claim days to organizing estate sales and utilizing donation services, there are highly structured, supportive ways to handle this. You literally just start with one room and the rest follows. And building your support team significantly reduces that stress. While moving is never going to be entirely stress-free, let's be real, relying on a trusted team makes an enormous difference. When you combine an experienced agent, a specialized senior move manager, and a really solid plan, the chaos goes way down. In fact, most people tell us the process was far less difficult than they expected once they had the right support around them. It's a real game changer. If you're feeling overwhelmed right now, just remember to start with one step. You don't need to see the entire staircase. Just have a single conversation with a seniors real estate specialist, often called an SRES. That one conversation helps you understand your options, and honestly, it tends to make everything feel so much smaller and far more manageable. Which brings us to Section 3, clarifying the financial picture. The fear of not being able to afford a move or making a wrong financial decision is huge. It really is. But it's an assumption that is always worth testing before you just accept it as fact. Uncovering your home's real value can be incredibly eye-opening. Relying on old information or what your neighbor's house sold for 3 years ago creates inaccurate estimates. A current market assessment frequently surprises people because so many homeowners are sitting on significantly more equity than they realize. And knowing that real, updated number, it changes the entire conversation. Even AARP recommends truly understanding your full financial picture before making any housing decisions. If you're carrying around that heavy fear of, I just can't afford to move, sitting down and crunching the actual numbers with a financial advisor and your real estate agent often reveals beautifully hidden options you might not have even known you had. Now, let's tackle what might be the most terrifying fear of the whole shebang, making the wrong decision. We really need to weigh the fear of regret against the actual risk of waiting. Because the possibility of regret can sometimes feel a lot scarier than the real daily problem of staying in a home that no longer serves you. As the saying goes, waiting is also a decision, and it carries its own risks. I want to gently point out that most people who make a move when the time is right look back and say, gosh, I really wish I had done this sooner. Equally, those who wait the absolute longest in a home that no longer fits tend to report the most regret. Finally, Section 4, taking that first step. Remember, getting informed is purely about gathering knowledge so you feel confident and fully in control of your own future. You can explore at your absolutely own pace with our free Homeowners 50+ page and our resource library, which is completely designed with zero pressure. We have guides covering everything from downsizing to exploring all kinds of senior living options. But as we wrap up our time together today, I want to leave you with this one thought to consider. What is one small, simple step you could take today to give your future self the freedom and the peace of mind they truly deserve?